Andrew McGahan for SevereMMA here in Fight Academy Ireland, standing alongside Joe McColgan, who faces Peter Queally September 10th in the 3 Arena at the next BAMMA show. I don't know what it is. It could be BAMMA 26.
BAMMA 26.
BAMMA 26. Joe, tell us about this. It looked like maybe you weren't going to get a fight in the card, and then it was Peter Queally who messaged you himself.
Yeah, I was down to fight Kiefer Crosby, as you know. He pulled out with a broken foot a week after the fight was signed. And then we went a couple of weeks without getting an opponent. And then I was actually in here talking to Pat, and I was thinking, you know what, I don't actually think I'm going to get an opponent for this. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was looking at other shows. And then I got home that night, I was eating my dinner, and then Peter Queally messaged me on Twitter saying that he basically that he needed an opponent for BAMMA. He was out of luck with the UFC, and he asked me if I wanted to take the fight, and I straight away said yeah, let me run it by my team. But it was a straight yes from me and a straight yes from Liam. So the fight was done then, and then he contacted BAMMA, and then BAMMA contacted us, and here we are today.
So you did Jude Samuel's job for you?
Yeah.
Or for him?
Pretty much, yeah.
This is a weird one though. This is one that I'm actually interested in more so that the fact it was meant to happen a couple of years ago. You had beaten James Heelan. Peter had gone 2-0 I think as a pro, or 1-0 at a Cage Contender show years ago. And that was when you kind of had dubbed yourself the SPG Hunter. Mm-hmm. And it just seemed like you were turning pro next. The next natural fight would be Peter Queally, and for different reasons it didn't happen. You got injured for a couple of years. Is this kind of a nice way for a guy who had such a delay getting into the pro ranks? Maybe this is a way for you to test yourself against a guy who's got a tremendous pro record.
It's nice, but not in that way. So yeah, you're right. I think it might have been 3 years ago I fought Heelan. And at that stage, Heelan was meant to be the best guy. So naturally, I was going to beat the best guy. I beat him. The thing to do would be to turn pro. But at that stage, I just graduated from uni, and you know, I didn't want to continue working in Sainsbury's for the rest of my life. So I thought, I'm going to get the head down here and try and get a proper job, which I did. And in parallel to that, Peter had offered to fight me, and I had refused because obviously I wanted to get a career sorted. So now that I've got my career in a place that I wanted to be, I'm only starting to enter the pro ranks now. Meanwhile, Peter's off doing his own thing, fighting out in Africa, building up a really good record, and he's just on the cusp of the UFC. And now it's at the point where he's on the cusp of the UFC, about to start his career, that I'm about to kind of fight him and hopefully take what he's worked really hard to get. And that's what's nice about it for me. And I feel like I get this, not even skip the queue, like I don't really skip the queue. But you know, if I was to think about me getting into the UFC, it's going to take me 3 years to build up a record. But if I can beat Peter Queally, I take everything he's worked for, and that puts me right on the door of the UFC. The only thing that I think would stop me is the record. You know, I'd be 2-0 at that stage. But I feel everything else, my level, I'm all ready for the UFC. My mentality as well, I feel like I'm there.
Do you think that it's a case of having to maybe take the time to work in your career, train sporadically, maybe 3 or 4 sessions a week, and just constantly plugging away at yourself as a martial artist is what's put you in such a confident and good position now, 3 years later?
Yeah, I think, well, you've seen it yourself. You've trained with me over the past 3-4 years. Like, you've seen the progression I've made in jiu-jitsu, in boxing. Like, you know, it's not as if I've been off training for 3 years. I'm sitting scratching my hole. Like, I've been working hard in the gym, not working hard for fights, but working hard to progress my skills. And I think that's brought me to a level that I might not have been at if I had just kept on plugging away at the fights. You know, I feel like I'm in a good place at the moment.
Yeah, and it seems that it was a trend that was going through while you were away from the sport. Maybe you were going to different places. You then started training with Donald McNally for boxing. You were starting doing extra strength and conditioning. As you said, making the trips down to Newry to train with Sebastian Torres. Is that what I'm talking about? That's why you now feel more well-rounded and more maybe accomplished, ready to go in?
Absolutely. Like I feel like I'm the full package at the moment. He said, I got my boxing coach in Donald. He's done wonders for my boxing. I've got my strength coach, Paul Murphy. I mean, he's brought me from a lightweight to a good size welterweight. I've got I'm working on my nutrition as well. I'm working with Austin Radican on that. I've got guys who are looking out for me in every aspect of martial arts. And I think now that I feel like I'm not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like I'm in a real good place at the moment. And this Peter Queally fight has come at the right time.
Talk to me about this fight, because Peter has established himself as a very, very tough, durable opponent who will grind out guys that maybe on paper you're thinking he's not going to win that fight. And when he's in the cage, he really performs. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that actually, I think, goes the extra bit in the cage and really performs better when he's under the lights as such. Do you think that will work into your advantage when you're going into maybe his home, or not his hometown, but the place that he trains in Dublin, and you're going into the Three Arena. You're the guy coming from Belfast. What do you feel that atmosphere is going to be like? Is there going to be Joe McColgan fans? Is there going to be Peter Queally fans? Or will anybody care about you?
No, I think they're going to be Joe McColgan fans. Of course they are. Look at all my fights; they're all exciting. I'm not saying Peter's aren't exciting, but the thing you mentioned there, Peter shows up at the fight. He's won decisions, but he's still a real dangerous guy, and he's a really good fighter, and he's very technical. Do you know, this guy's an 8-2 fighter. I'm a 1-0 fighter, but his record doesn't concern me. They don't mean shit, but do you know what makes it? It means shit. Darce chokes and body shots, and that's what I can do. Probably the most dangerous thing I think about Peter is his fight IQ. He knows how to win fights. He knows how to win fights when he's maybe faced a bit of adversity, and he knows how to win fights against guys who on paper are better than him. So that's probably going to be the toughest thing I think about Peter. One of the things that works well in my favour is that he's quite a technical guy as well, and I think that my style will look good against him. I think that my boxing, I'll be able to show my boxing off a lot against more of a technical fighter, whereas you've seen against Tom Hogan, like it was hard to get things off on him. Like everyone watches that fight and think, Jesus, Joe was very patient. It's not that I was patient, there wasn't a lot that I could do because he was swinging absolute bombs at me. Whereas Peter, I think he'll cover up, he'll play a bit more, of a tidy boxing game, and I think that my style will look good against that.
Excellent. If you give me a prediction for the fight, and then just even, I don't want to say to look past it, but you're talking that you want to take his momentum, but you'll only be 2-0. Does that mean you're looking to get straight back in as quick as possible after BAMMA? Are we going to take Christmas off, focus on jiu-jitsu tournaments, or straight for MMA?
Well, I want to do the Worlds here in jiu-jitsu in November, but I mean...
The Nogi Worlds?
The Nogi Worlds. You think I'm going to do the gi? I get destroyed. So take his momentum and then take it from there. Like I said, I want to do the Nogi Worlds in November, but if other opportunities come up, then I'm game. Pat's always cracking up about me not having fights because I'm not injured, whereas in all like my previous year's training, I'm always carrying some kind of injury. So he's like, why not get the fights now? And so this is it. This is the attitude I have. Let's get the fights in. Let's fight whoever it is. Sure, I want to know pro taking on a guy on the cusp of the UFC. Sorry, was signed to the UFC, who's had 10 pro fights. How many pro fighters would take that? These guys are, not padding their records, but I guarantee no man in Ireland would take that fight, in my opinion. Bar a couple.
Excellent. Good way to finish, Joe. Thank you very much. Best of luck in the fight.
Thanks.